Cathedrals are important in all cities, but here in Malaga, the building has an even greater significance. It is not only a religious icon, but a landmark, a national landmark, a milestone along the road, and a witness to many events such as the Holy Week. This building is one of the best examples of Spanish art, and is located on the remains of other cultural sites, such as the early Almahad Mosque. Its foundations were laid in 1528, and work lasted all the way up until the end of the 17th century. Malagueños know its cathedral as La Manquita, which when translated means something is missing, as the second tower was never actually finished. Some brotherhoods make a station inside the Cathedral of Malaga. There are about 15 cofrades that enter the cathedral, and those remaining cannot enter simply due to the sheer size of their thrones, which prevents them from progressing past the access gate into the temple. Here you can experience the intimacy and recollection, along with the quiet, divine atmosphere that comes when grieving the death of Christ. A mixture of sensations to explore and feel within oneself when visiting the cathedral. Every year in Malaga during Holy Week, a criminal is pardoned for good behavior during Wednesday afternoon. The identity of the prisoner is not revealed, and the Nazareno Jesus El Rico is prepared outside the cathedral in Plaza del Obispo to give the blessing of all those awaiting to be forgiven, including the elected prisoner that is due to be set free. This tradition dates all the way back to 1759 during the reign of King Carlos III. When the infamous Black Plague hit Malaga, many prisoners died, but those surviving believed that if they carried the image of Christ through the streets, then they would be saved. Many prisoners escaped any way that they could in order to uphold this ritual, and subsequently returned to their cells upon its completion. The story goes that when the plague vanished from Malaga and King Carlos heard about the event, he ordered that every year, when the image of Christ passes the prison in the Easter procession, an inmate should be set free. Since then, this event has been one of the most awaited and significant during Holy Week. Not only is it one of the more important traditions in the city of Malaga, but there are also many others besides that you will encounter during a stay there. Every brotherhood has its own unique style during the procession, including the music played behind each float by a large number of bands in the city. Every band has its own way of playing in order to honor Christ or Mary, and is formed by a different number of musicians that can range anywhere from 50 to 100 people, depending on the band itself. Each band composes and plays its own pieces, referencing individual brotherhoods. In this sense, depending on the day and also on the procession that the band is going with, the music that is interpreted might sound different, going from elaborate musical pieces to more funereal and solemn compositions. Here in Andalusia and in Malaga, we have three types of bands, but they are mostly formed by brass, woodwind, and percussion instruments. Those musical groups can be easily recognized as here in Malaga, they all dress up in specific and different uniforms that represent them. This is one of the main differences from the rest of Spain, where most of the bands are dressed the same as the penitents of the procession. Designers work hard for the brotherhoods during the year in order to create, improve, and restore the equipment and tools needed in order to stand out during the Easter week processions. The taste for Baroque art by the religious brotherhoods and the great amount of processional material have been accumulated for centuries, resulting in a street stage of exuberant art full of colour and majesty. Holy Week in Malaga is very different to that celebrated in other Andalusian or Spanish areas, and those who go to Malaga for the first time will be pleasantly surprised, as the week there is not only celebrated with meditation and silence, but is also full of happiness, noise, cheers, spontaneous verses of song at the processions, and wild applause as the images pass by. The manto of the Virgin Mary is a fundamental piece of art which can take sometimes up to 3, 5, or even 10 years to be finished, after intricate elaborations of embroidery in gold and other precious fabrics and stone are combined into a design that each Virgin Mary carries, competing among other such creations from other brotherhoods. On these floats from the front, back, and sides of the canopy hang the bambalinas, velvet mesh draperies embroidered in gold, plate, and silk. And in front of the image of the Virgin Mary, the Candeleria, a set of candlesticks, are placed in a stepped layout, altogether creating the perfect combination to offer the best results for a tradition that deserves the utmost respect and appreciation in the modern world. Brotherhoods do not only increase their heritage every day, but are also ready to show us an appreciation for art and tradition combined together after 400 years in the streets of Malaga during Semana Santa.